When you're adding up your grocery list for budgeting purposes, it helps to categorize them. In fact, some grocery receipts will categorize your grocery items based on the department that you purchased them from. In this example and in your assessment tomorrow, we'll be categorizing by recipe. We'll be finding the individual cost for each recipe and the total cost for the Thanksgiving meal. Treat these scenarios like word problems. We're going to look at all of the individual values and tell the story of how the operations bring these values together to simplify into one final answer. The first thing that we purchased is a whole turkey. We purchased a turkey that is 20 pounds. The price per pound is $1.37. So if I need to find the total cost for my turkey, I need to take 20 times the cost per pound. I'm going to write my answer as one big algebraic expression that tells the whole story. That way I can double check that all of my operations are correct and told in the right order. So I took 20 pounds times $1.37. I'm going to add on $2.76 for butter. The butter is not a multiple, so I don't have to multiply that by the number of items times the cost, or the pounds times the cost. I'm going to add on $1.90 for salt, $1.85 for black pepper, and 50 cents for garlic. By modeling my word problem as an algebraic expression, I can read the expression and retell the story. 20 times 1.37. I spent $1.37 for every 20 pounds of turkey. Then I bought butter for $2.76, salt for $1.90, ground pepper for $1.85, and garlic for 50 cents. My algebraic expression has every value and every operation. Now I just need to follow the order of operations. PEMDAS, so looking for parentheses, there are none. Exponents, none. Multiplication, division. So take care of my multiplication. I underline, I evaluate. 20 times $1.37 gives me $27.40. Underline, evaluate, rewrite. Everything that didn't just calculate comes straight down. And then I just continue to follow the order of operations. So I'm going to underline the next operation. I'm all done with multiplication division, so I'm on to addition subtraction from left to right. 2740 plus 2.76. Throw that in my calculator because I underline, I evaluate, and then I rewrite. Everything that didn't just change when that operation occurred drops straight down. Plus 1.9, plus 1.85, everything comes straight down. On your own, pause the video, try the rest of the problem, then check your answer in a moment. Hopefully you continue to follow the order of operations. Underline, evaluate, rewrite. Underline, evaluate, rewrite. Underline, evaluate, and there's my final answer, $34.41. Remember to circle or box your answer just so you make it easier for your own uses to find the answer and for the grader's uses to find the answer. On your assessment tomorrow, you'll have to find the total cost for all the ingredients for your turkey, your sides, your dessert, and your extras. Remember, these are the extra pieces that you need for your meal. Not necessarily food. These could be side items. This could be beverages. This could be cups, plates, napkins, all those things you may need, including silverware that you might want for a holiday gathering. In some cases, you need to look at the units. If they come in sets of 10, for cups, for example, and I know I have 15 people, I need to buy at least 2 sleeves of them. So when I write that out, when I'm modeling my algebraic expression here, it's 2 sets of $6.50. Notice those values, those prices, are all price per item or price per pound. So if you have to pick number of items, you multiply. That's 2 sets of $6.50. $4 just gets added on. I don't have to write in those 2 decimal places after. It's just 4. There's 3 sets of silverware. They're $4.50 each. I needed 3 sets because it looks like there's only 5 settings per package. I have 15 people, so I needed to buy 3 sets. 3 times $4.50. Same thing with soda. I'm going to buy 4 bottles of soda at $1.71 each. And then ice, I'm just going to buy 1 bag. It's $3.49. Always make sure that your algebraic expression tells the story of the word problem or situation. In this case, just to recap, I had 2 times 6.50 because I had 2 sets of $6.50. That's 2 bags of cups. I bought 1 package of napkins. That's just $4. I bought 3 sets or 3 bags or boxes of plastic silverware, so I had enough settings for everyone. That's 3 times $4.50. I bought 4 bottles of soda, so that's 4 times $1.71. And then I bought 1 bag of ice at $3.49. My algebraic expression matches up with my grocery list here. So now I'm just going to follow the order of operations. I don't see any parentheses or exponents, so I'm going to jump straight forward to multiplication and division. I see 2 times 6.50, that gives me 13. I underline, evaluate, and I rewrite. Rewrite everything, bring it all straight down. Because there were a couple of instances where I had to buy multiples of items like cups, silverware, and soda, I know that there's a couple instances of multiplication, so I can't start adding yet. I need to find 3 times 4.5, my next multiplication or division from left to right. 3 times 450 gives me 13.5. I underline, evaluate, and then I bring everything else down. Take a moment, pause the video, try the rest of the problem, see if you can get a final answer. Once you have an answer, play again, and then you can watch the final steps and check your answer. We continue to follow the order of operations, so I take care of this multiplication. I underline, evaluate, rewrite. I underline, evaluate, rewrite. Underline, evaluate, rewrite. Underline, evaluate, rewrite. Underline, evaluate, and rewrite. Remember, we follow these steps so that way you can see not only which operation you just completed, but the answer or evaluated solution right below it. Now that we have both of the individual recipe lists, we could either set up one gigantic algebraic expression that combines all of the ingredients, all of the multiple pounds, all of the multiple purchases, and you can evaluate the whole thing. Or we look at the fact that we just evaluated all of that to get $34.41. We also evaluated all of this to get $40.83. If I add these together, just like I would on tomorrow's assessment, I'm going to get a total of $75.24. This is the cost of the groceries before tax, before any discounts whatsoever. I represented each of these categorized grocery lists as 2 separate algebraic expressions. I followed the order of operations to find the total cost for each of the categorized grocery lists. There will be one for the turkey recipe, your 2 sides, your dessert, and your extras, which includes things like plates, cups, silverware. Once I had the individual costs, I added them together. You'll find the same type of value by following the same steps on your assessment tomorrow. Now that we have our total cost before tax, before discount, we can look at a couple percentage applications. In this case, you have a 15% coupon. We're going to take the discount by taking our whole, which is $75.24, and finding what 15% of that is. Think of it like an apple. My whole apple is $75.24. I take 15% of a bite. I want to know how big that bite is. Not what's left on the apple, but how big the bite is. When I need to do that, I multiply by the decimal version of that percentage. So I take 15 and either divide it by 100 or move my decimal place 2 to the left. So right now it starts as a percent where the decimal is after the 5. I'm going to move 2 to the left. Now it's in front of the 1. I cannot multiply 15% times $75.24. Percentages are great for communicating values. Decimals are great for calculating values. You can represent 15% both ways. Little calculator moment, I'm going to do 75.24 times 0.15 gives me $11.29. Remember, this is how big that bite is. This is 15% of my original cost, my original total groceries. This is how much I saved, not what I'm paying. If I wanted to find how much my actual bill will be, I need to take my $75.24 and multiply it by 1 minus 0.15. I'm taking 1 because 1 represents the whole. It's the whole apple. I'm subtracting because I'm taking that bite off the apple. I'm taking a portion away. I'm taking 15% away. Now I'm looking at what's left of the apple after I take the bite. That's 85% or 0.85. That's where you get 1 minus 0.15. It's a total of $63.95. If I take 15% off of $75.24, I get $63.95. This is my new final total. I'm going to use this amount now, and I'm going to figure out how much tax I need to pay. Tax is usually anywhere from 8 to 10%. We're going to use 8%. So this is another case of just taking the bite out of the apple. I have $63.95, which is my discounted amount, and I want to find what is 8%. I want to know how big the bite is. So I'm just going to multiply by 0.08, which is 8% in decimal form. Move the decimal 2 places to the left or divide by 100. When I multiply those together, I get $5.12. That is how much tax is going to the government. That's how much the store collects so that they can pay their income tax. I want to know, though, how much I, as the consumer, need to pay for my groceries. So I'm going to take $63.95 and multiply it by 1 plus 0.08. Let's look at why. 1 represents the whole apple. It represents $63.95. I'm adding on, or the store and the government are charging 8% more. So I'm adding on and putting more onto the apple. How much more? 8%. So I represent 8% as a decimal. Move it over, or move the decimal over 2 places. So that's 1.08 or 108% times $63.95. I should get $69.07. Remember, taxes is a markup. You're going to be charged more. Discounts like coupons, you'll be charged less. So your costs should go down. Even though we were charged tax, we also had a coupon. So we want to look at our percent change. The percent change is calculated by taking the final amount, or in this case the final cost, $69.07, which is the cost after we added up all our groceries, after we took the 15% discount, after we added on 8% tax. And we subtract this from the original amount, which was before the tax, before the discount, $75.24. I'm going to take that value, that difference, and divide it by the final value. A good way to remember this, notice the second value up top and the only value down below should be exactly the same. Whenever I have a big rational expression like this, I like to simplify everything up top, then simplify everything down below before I do anything else. 69.07 minus $75.24 gives me negative $6.17. Watch those negatives. That's divided by 75.24. I need to turn this into a percentage. Right now it's a fraction. To turn a fraction into a percent, I can divide straight through. Negative $6.17 divided by $75.24 gives me negative 0.082. To turn that into a percent, I move 2 places to the right to get 8.2%. Negative 8.2% to be very specific. That means that my total cost went down 8.2%. These will be the types of problems that you'll be answering tomorrow on your summative assessment. The problems and the situation will be based on your grocery list that you chose yesterday in class. You can reference these examples, but it will be an assessment situation. You may check your work once during the assessment, but you will not receive help in class.